Go ahead, please. State of Tennessee.
Yes, Your Honor. The state of Tennessee calls Sergeant Jason Bledsoe.
Sergeant Bledsoe, come forward. Watch your step. Stand right here, face your and raise your right hand.
Hello. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate your time. Do you swear to solemnly tell the truth? Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you, sir. Watch your step. Speak up. Madam.
Please state and spell your name.
Yes, sir. My name is Jason Bledsoe, JasonBledsoe.
Where do you work?
The Memphis Police Department.
Do you have a rank at the Memphis Police Department?
I'm a sergeant.
Sergeant Bledsoe, how long have you been with the Memphis Police Department?
A little over 24 years now.
What's your current job assignment there?
With the Digital Forensic Unit, we examine the mobile devices from bureaus, mainly homicide.
So when you say mobile devices, what are you talking about?
Cell phones, tablets, even a drone if one was brought in.
Do you have any training or experience in relation to evaluating mobile devices?
I do, yes, sir.
What type of training experience?
It's kind of a long story. I'll try to make it short for you as best I can. 1993, I joined the United States Air Force. I did active duty for about 6.5 years. 2000, I got out and joined the Air National Guard. Following that year, I joined the Memphis Police Department, and in 2007, I got called back to the military. I got detailed to the United States Army Counter-Drug Task Force, and they trained me to be an intelligence analyst, and I was assigned to the Drug Enforcement Administration here in Memphis, Tennessee. During my 2 years with them, I was trained to use Celebrite. Celebrite's software and hardware that is able to take mobile devices, extract the data without altering it or adding anything to the device, and examine that into a category portion report. From there, they also taught me to use PLX software. PLX software is basically able to take call records and analyze that as well, and make it more understandable. After the 2 years I was there, I went back to the Memphis Police Department, and shortly after I became a task force officer assigned to the DEA again, and I did approximately 8 years with them, where I was able to use my analytical skills that I learned as being an intelligence analyst for the cases I was working here in Memphis and abroad. In 2019, I got promoted to sergeant, and they moved me to the Digital Forensic Unit. Once I got there, I was trained, recertified to use the Celebrite software and the PLX, and we also have a software called Great Key. Great Key is another type of tool that's able to extract data from a device without altering or changing anything from that device.
You mentioned the Celebrite certifications. What certifications do you have?
Currently, I have the Celebrite and PLX.
Do you have to do anything to maintain or update those certifications?
Yes, sir. Every 2 years, we get recertified with the Celebrite software.
In your career, about how many device or mobile device extractions do you think you performed?
To date, I've extracted approximately 1,300 devices.
Your Honor, this time State of Tennessee would tender Sergeant Bledsoe as an expert in the area of forensic mobile device examinations and extractions.
No objection.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sergeant Bledsoe, I'd like to direct your attention back to February 2nd of 2022.
Yes, sir.
Were you working on that day?
I was.
Were you in your current job position at that time?
I was, yes, sir.
Were you involved with an investigation regarding Danielle Hoyle and Kennedy Hoyle, who were missing at the time?
Yes, sir. Earlier that morning, I'm part of the CAR team, which is a child abduction response team. It basically calls in when a child's been abducted here in Memphis. I got called in earlier that morning to see if I could assist on any devices that came in related to that case.
To your knowledge, were there any devices that had been recovered relating to this case?
Yes, sir. We received a device from Brandon and Isabelle's.
And to your knowledge, what was Brandon and Isabelle's involvement at this point in the investigation?
Boyfriend.
Boyfriend of who?
I can't recall the female's name. I apologize.
Was it the female who was deceased at the time, Danielle Hoyle?
Yes, sir.
And did you receive that cell phone?
I did, yes.
Here, may I approach, pass an object to the witness?
Oh, yes.
Sergeant Bledsoe, I passed you an object. Would you take a look inside, please, and tell me if you recognize it?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
This is an iPhone 11 Pro with a SIM card attached to the back of it.
Is that the iPhone 11 Pro belonging to Brandon and Isabelle that you performed an extraction of?
Yes, it is.
Once you received that phone, what did you do with it?
Once we received the phone, as you can tell, the SIM card was taped to the back of it. The reason we take the SIM card to the back of it, sometimes the investigator couldn't put it in airplane mode, so it wouldn't communicate with the tower. If it was to communicate with the tower, they can actually remotely wipe that device, all the data that's on that device by logging into their account. So if it wasn't put in airplane mode, we take the SIM card out, tape it to the back so it will not communicate with the tower. We also, I believe on this case, we were given the passcode for this and also a warrant. So we reviewed the warrant, make sure the warrant had the correct data on it, and the passcode that was given to us, we verified it and locked the device.
Sergeant Bledsoe, is there anything else inside that envelope other than the phone itself?
That's the case that was the device was in.
The case that the device as you received it?
Yes.
Your Honor, this time state as it be marked as the next number exhibit number 83.
So this is an envelope containing both the iPhone 11 and a protective case.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Sergeant Bledsoe, in preparation for your testimony, did you prepare a PowerPoint to explain the extraction process of the cell phone?
I did, yes, sir.
Your Honor, the court's permission as to display that PowerPoint as a demonstrative aid.
Go ahead, please.
Mayor, may we approach briefly while we're doing that?
Pardon me, ladies and gentlemen. Sergeant Bledsoe.
Yes, please.
Sergeant Bledsoe, is this the PowerPoint that you prepared?
Yes, sir, it is.
This first slide that you have prepared, is this what is it?
It's just describing the overview of the whole case. We're on February 2nd, 2022. Sergeant Torino brought me a device that belonged to Brandon and Isabelle. Also advised that he had a warrant for the device, gave me the passcode, and they were requesting a report of a date range from January 1st to February 2nd, 2022. From here, basically the extraction was done with the gray key. The gray key was able to extract data off the device and use that data to put it in a cell write to make a reader report that it's easier to understand and it's categorized by messages, call logs, stuff like that.
So when you pull information off of a phone using gray key, can you just open it up and look at it on a computer without running it through any type of software?
No, sir. I mean, it's usually put up into a zip file, and gray key's able to put a hash on it to where it's basically, it cannot be altered. And if it was to be altered, that they could run a hasher on it to see if that file has actually changed.
And then in this next slide, there's two photographs. What are those photographs?
The first one's a picture of the device with it turned on. It's a picture with a male and a little kid, and the other one's the backside of the device with the SIM card.
Is that the phone that you performed an extraction on?
It is.
The same one you showed the jury just a moment ago in exhibit 83?
Yes, sir.
Sergeant Bledsoe, let's talk about extractions. What is an extraction of a cell phone?
So extracting the data off the device can be done in several different ways with different kind of software out there. In this case, we did Gray Key was able to actually do a full file system off that. And that's basically taking the full file system off it, copying it completely, and then able to boot it in the cell write. file system is pretty much more in depth compared to the other extractions. You're able to get a lot more data compared to the other ones. So having the passcode with it being unlocked, you can sometimes recover deleted data as well with that kind of extraction.
So is it fair to say that you're making pretty much an exact copy of that phone,
Correct.
or the data that's on there?
Yes, sir.
And in this slide, I think, for you, this is talking about the actual software that you use. What software did you use?
For the extraction, we use the Great Key, and for the analyzing, we use Celebrite.
You mentioned there was a full system extraction. How does that differ than from other types of extractions?
So sometimes when we can't get into the device, we have a SIM card extraction. That's the first one you see up there. That's just that little card you put into your SIM card tray, and that's what's going to communicate with the towers. Back in the old days, that SIM card had photos, had all the good stuff on there. These days, it's mainly just your phone number. So if we can't get anything much off of the device, we'll at least pull the phone number off of that device. So that's a SIM card. The second one is the file system. That's basically what I was just talking about. That's taking the file system directly off the device, and everything that a user, when you look at the device, what's on the interface of that, I can get the things you cannot see, all the files that's behind all that. The logical, not as in more depth compared to a file system, but I can do categories where I extract like just your call log, your text messages, your photos, your videos, and stuff like that.
And is there another type?
Yes, the last one's like the physical. Physical, basically, it can bypass the whole phone. If you have a swipe pattern or anything like that, it would get directly everything off the device, even all the deleted data. The physical and the full file system that Great Key produces are pretty much similar in definition.
And then in this slide that you prepared, what type of information?
This right here is just kind of the case information describing what it was, who brought the phone in, the case number, that's Apple iPhone 11 Pro, the phone number that's being assigned to it, which can be helpful if you end up getting call records from the phone company, so you could do the tower mapping, and then the passcode that was provided that actually unlocked the device.
So what was the phone number for this phone that you performed an extraction on?
It's the one highlighted red. It's 1901-340-4649.
And below that, there's another thing called the IMEI, and there's a long number after that. What is that?
That's basically the mobile equipment identifier. That's just like another serial number for it to identify that as that device.
Is it specific to an individual device?
Yes, sir.
No two devices have the same IMEI, is that correct?
That's correct.
What is this that we're seeing now on the screen?
So the Great Key software is kind of neat. When we plug it in, it actually, once it identifies the phone, it would actually do a progress report. The progress report tells me exactly what it is. Is there a device name? Did he name his device like, Brandon's device or Brandon's iPhone? It tells me the model number, which is the iPhone 11 Pro, serial number, phone number that I just talked about, the IMEI, and then if he has his account set up, if he's logged into his Gmail, iCloud, or stuff like that, he'll produce that kind of information. Because sometimes if you can't get in a phone, that iCloud account information, you could actually send a warrant to iCloud or Gmail and request their records to dig a little bit deeper into the data that you could get off the device. But if they backed up the device, then I could get that data.
You mentioned earlier about hash verification.
Yes, sir.
What is that?
Hash is basically like a fingerprint. When we finish these reports, Great Key produces an automatic hash for a fingerprint. And it's able to basically say, here's that special number that's provided for this one device. If you're able to go, if you go in there and make another extraction of that one thing and change it or alter it, that hash will be different. So when I do this Great Key report and I generate the Celebrite report and finalize it, it zips it all up, and there's this one, this is SHA-256, it's a secure hash algorithm, and that basically provides that fingerprint for that. So when the investigator opens it, he could run a hash against the file I just gave him to see if it actually matches up to what this grade key report produced.
And that would tell that person whether anything's been altered with since the extraction's been done previously.
Yes. And this is pretty much was what I was basically covering, the hash values, the fingerprint for the zip file that's provided. There are two different algorithms widely used. It's the MD5, which is the message digest algorithm, and then you have the secure hash algorithm, 256-bit. That's what it's basically talking about.
Are these different ones different in their level of security or anything
The
like
SHA
that?
256 is a little bit longer digits. It makes it a little bit harder to have exact same two hash numbers ever. So there's not much difference. They do the same thing.
In this case, what type of hash value was created?
For this, actually, Grade Key does the SHA 256 and the MD5. It will produce both of them for you.
Were you able to successfully perform an extraction in this case?
I was.
And did it generate a hash value for that extraction?
Yes, sir. For the actual file system itself, the zip file that's provided, the SHA 256, that extremely long alphanumeric number is the number that should be the exact same for the file system when it's hashed out later on.
Once there's an extraction completed, is it saved in a certain format?
Yes, sir.
What type of format is it saved into?
It's usually kind of put up in a zip file and saved as a file system file.
You mentioned about Grade Key, you mentioned also about Celebrite, correct? Is Celebrite a tool that is used in analyzing phones?
Yes, sir.
What type of file format does something need, a phone extraction need to be saved into for the next investigator to perform a Celebrite evaluation?
So the good thing about Celebrite, it not only doesn't just read the zip file, it will actually extract data as well, just like the Grade Key. It's just the Grade Key is a little bit more tuned more towards the iOS device, the Apple devices, stuff like that. But once you get the reports open, you're able to sit there and make a PDF report of the data you give them, an HTML report, a UFDR report, Universal Forensic Device report, and XML reports. So there's several different choices.
In this case, after you performed the extraction, was it that later on passed on to another investigative officer to your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
And that officer then performed the actual analysis itself?
That's correct.
State Bledsoe?
Sergeant Bledsoe, you indicated that you had utilized Grade Key.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, Grade Key has multiple functions, right? Ways that it can operate.
That's what you mean.
So if you have a passcode like you did here, it's easy.
Yes, sir.
But it also has a means by which to try to break into phones.
That's correct.
And you basically hook a phone up and it will just start running codes.
Yes, ma'am.
And it can take 5 minutes, it can take 5 years.
That's correct.
Okay. Now, is that what you were talking about when you said if we're able to get an extraction? That sometimes if you don't have that passcode, you can't get into the phone?
Sometimes it really depends on the device, and also depends on the iOS the device is running. If the software hasn't been updated or upgraded to that iOS, then sometimes it will not get you anything. It just produce you a progress report with it. But without that, then if you can get the SIM card out, then just go to Celebrite and get the SIM card out and use Celebrite to actually analyze the SIM card.
Okay. But my question is, if you don't have the passcode, getting into the phone is much harder, right?
Correct.
Okay. And in this case, you were provided the phone, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And along with the phone, you were also provided the passcode.
Correct.
And those came from Sergeant Torina.
Yes, ma'am.
Was that at the direction of Sergeant Boyd, do you know?
I do not know.
That's all I have.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You may step down.